Why did you pour wine on the wedding dress? How could you ruin your sister's big day like that? Are you even a real sister? On my sister's wedding day, Mom slapped my cheek after screaming that at me. Ouch. What? Why all of a sudden? I was shocked by Mom's sudden actions and was speechless. I would never do such a thing to my dear sister's wedding dress. I tried to deny it desperately, but Mom wouldn't believe me. And even the groom started accusing me. However, a shocking truth and plot would soon come to light. My name is Kim. I'm 26 years old. I have a sister who is 3 years my junior. Her name is Amber, and we've been very close since we were children. Amber has always wanted to be a nurse, and now she's fulfilling her dream. Working as a nurse in a general hospital. Nursing is very demanding and often tough. But she finds it rewarding and wants to continue in this profession. Meanwhile, I work as a tax accountant. I've been working at the same accounting firm since graduating from university. We're both single and live at our parents' house, which is within commuting distance from our workplaces. Our father passed away a few years ago due to an illness. Since then, it's been the three of us living together. Although my mom and I don't always see eye to eye due to her spending habits, which she never seems to correct despite my repeated warnings. One day, it was decided that Amber would get married and she brought her fiancé home. Nice to meet you. I'm John Simpson, and I've been dating Amber. John is 28 years old and works at a bank. He seemed very refreshing. And I felt that Amber could be safely entrusted to him, so I heartily celebrated their union. Amber, congratulations. I'm so glad you found such a wonderful person. Thank you, Kim. Amber smiled radiantly, making me happy as if it were my own happiness. Mom also seemed happy about her marriage. With the marriage, Amber was going to move out and start a new life in a new home with John. Soon after, we received the wedding invitations. Amber had managed to reserve the wedding venue she had always dreamed of. I was also asked to give a speech, and as I prepared it, I eagerly looked forward to the wedding day. Saying there was no sadness in seeing Amber get married would be a lie. But more than that, I wanted her to be happy. I bet Amber will look beautiful in her wedding dress. I might even cry. With those thoughts, I was really looking forward to the wedding day. The day of the wedding arrived. It was a clear sunny day. As if the weather itself was blessing Amber and John. I had planned to bring a wedding board, but because of work, I was running late and brought it to the venue earlier. Then planned to give it to the newlyweds. Amber, sorry for the late wedding board. And truly, congratulations. I'm glad we could celebrate this day. Wow, what a wonderful wedding board. Thank you so much, Kim. Amber thanked me with a sparkling smile. I also extended my congratulations to John. Congratulations, John. Please take good care of Amber. However, for some reason, John slightly grimaced. Yes, thank you. I noticed John's strange expression for a moment, but it was the wedding day. And I thought he might just be nervous, so I didn't dwell on it too much. Soon, it was time for Amber and John to get ready, so I waited in the family waiting room. As the ceremony time approached, there was no call to move from the staff. Huh? The ceremony time is about to start. Maybe they're having trouble with the preparations? As I wondered, there was a loud bang. And the door was rudely opened. I turned toward the door in surprise and saw Mom standing there, pale and out of breath. Mom. What's going on? As I asked in confusion, Mom stormed up to me. Kim, why did you pour wine on Amber's wedding dress? That's terrible. No sooner had she shouted this than she slapped my cheek hard. Ouch. What? Why all of a sudden? Caught off guard by the sudden incident, I couldn't grasp what was happening. My left cheek stung painfully where Mom had slapped me. It was the first time I had ever been slapped by someone. You're the one who poured wine on Amber's wedding dress, aren't you? Why would you do that? Mom glared at me furiously. What? What are you talking about? I would never do such a thing. I would never pour wine on my precious sister's wedding dress. I desperately denied it, but it seemed like Mom truly believed I was the culprit. In fact, Amber's wedding dress is really in such a terrible state. Feeling the blood drain from my face, I quickly followed Mom to the makeup room where Amber was. Indeed, just as Mom said, Amber's wedding dress was stained bright red. And the scent of wine was unmistakable. It was clear that someone had poured wine on her wedding dress. What is this? This is too terrible. While muttering to myself, I turned towards Amber, who stood there dumbfounded in front of her wedding dress. Amber, do you know when the wine was poured? When I asked her, she slowly opened her mouth. Yeah. I went to the restroom before changing into my dress. But when I came back, it was like this. It seems that someone did this terrible thing while Amber was in the restroom. Who could do such a thing? I began, but Mom shouted. Stop playing dumb. The culprit is Kim. Mom. I'm telling you that I didn't do it. I would never tarnish Amber's dress. Why do you think it was me? I asked Mom wearily, and then she started making an outrageous claim. I saw you sneaking into the makeup room with a bottle of wine. I was wondering what she was up to because she was acting so suspiciously. No. It's a false accusation. I didn't do it. As I vehemently denied it, John looked at me with a stern gaze. Kim. I never imagined you would do such a thing. Was your blessing for us just a lie? John, you too. How many times do I have to say I didn't do it? We can't have a wedding in this dress. We'll have to cancel it. Kim, you will take responsibility for ruining our wedding. No, that can't be. But I really didn't do it. Although John accused me harshly, I kept arguing back that I hadn't done it. Stop being so stubborn. Kim, just admit it already. And take full responsibility for ruining the wedding. Why do you insist I'm the culprit? I'm telling you I saw you entering the makeup room with wine. It has to be Kim who did it. As John and Mom continued to accuse me, Amber, who had been silent until then, seemed to realize something and shouted, Kim, run. I nodded at her words and dashed off immediately. Wait. Hold on. I could feel Mom and John chasing after me from behind. If they caught me in a deserted place, they might even resort to violence. I had already been slapped by Mom. I escaped into a control room filled with staff, waiting for Mom and John. I finally caught up. Kim, running away is useless. Mom and John caught up to me, panting heavily and glaring at me. This tragedy is all because of you, Kim. Just give up quietly and take responsibility. You'll also pay for all the wedding costs, and after you've paid. John also shouted, his face twisted into a grin. Are you still saying that? No matter what you say, I didn't do it. I firmly denied the accusations, but John, looking frustrated, declared, the wedding is cancelled. It's all your fault, Kim. The wedding venue staff tried desperately to calm down John and Mom. But they were not listening. At that moment, Amber arrived with another staff member. The staff member said, "We've heard all about the situation. There are surveillance cameras in the makeup room, so let's watch the footage together." Upon hearing this, John and Mom started to panic. What? There are surveillance cameras? No, well, there's really no need to check them, right? Right, Mom? Yes, that's right, John. We don't need to see the footage from the surveillance cameras when I saw Kim entering and leaving with the wine with my own eyes. John and Mom clumsily insisted that they didn't need to see the camera footage. Amber calmly told them, "John, Mom, let's check the surveillance cameras. I can't believe Kim would do such a thing, and I'm sure she didn't do it." Amber. It was comforting to know that Amber believed in me. "Let's all go and check the footage together. You can watch it in that room over there," the venue staff directed. Mom began to protest loudly. "Wait. Let's not after all. Everything up to now, forget it. Maybe I remembered wrong when I said I saw it. Yes, I was kind of panicking too. Sorry about that. Let's just call off the wedding for today and leave it at that." As the two of them spoke nonsense, I reached my breaking point. Don't joke around. I've been accused of ruining my dear sister's wedding dress. There's no way I can just leave it like this. I will definitely check the surveillance footage. At my shout, John and Mom flinched. Amber and I, along with the venue staff, went to check the surveillance footage. Mom and John watched us from a distance, looking uncomfortable. The footage clearly showed John pouring wine onto the wedding dress. So it was John all along. I knew it. It didn't make sense for Kim to do such a thing. And it's impossible security-wise at the venue. And yet, John and Mom kept stubbornly accusing Kim. That's. John tried to make excuses, but he was at a loss for words. And John kept demanding that Kim take responsibility for canceling the wedding, not just pay for the dress. I realized that John and Mom might have been conspiring to take money from Kim. Amber, so that's why you told me to run? Amber nodded at my question. Enraged, I confronted John and Mom. Why did you do this? Just like Amber said, were you two trying to get money from me? No, more importantly, how could you do this on what was supposed to be the brightest day of Amber's life? John then laughed defiantly, his face contorting unpleasantly. Shut up. Don't yap about it, you sisters. Just shut up. I've always been dissatisfied with Amber being just a nurse. What? Amber was shocked by his words. Being a nurse means working nights and it's incredibly busy. And the salary isn't great either. So I thought it'd be more beneficial to marry Kim, who is a tax accountant making good money. What? Stunned by his absurd reasoning, it turned out that John had discussed switching from Amber to me with Mom, who had agreed because she owed John money. They had planned this whole scheme where John would ruin Amber's wedding dress with wine, cancel the wedding, pin the blame on me, and force me to take responsibility. It's impossible for such a plan to succeed. It's too despicable. You both are out of your minds. If you were dissatisfied with Amber's profession, why didn't you discuss it before marriage instead of concocting such a plan to forcefully go through with the wedding? Disgusted, I sighed heavily. Amber, red-faced with anger, screamed at John and Mom. John, I never thought you'd be such a scumbag. And you too, Mom. How could you participate in such a plan and still call yourself a mother? John then snapped back, "Shut up. Just listen to me." As John began to get violent, his own parents and other relatives quickly restrained him, and the police were called. "You are annoying, Amber. You should just give me the money and take care of my parents. Don't defy me even though you're a woman." While ranting, John was taken away by the police. Naturally, the wedding was cancelled. After being grilled by the police, John had to pay a significant amount of money for the cancellation fee. Because of this, his savings were insufficient, forcing him to take on debt. Lectured by relatives and known at his workplace for the incident, John lived a restricted life. Even if he wanted to quit his job, the massive debt made it impossible. Meanwhile, Amber and I declared our disownment of Mom. Amber, Kim. I'm sorry. I was in financial trouble and had borrowed a lot from John. So I had no choice but to cooperate. Mom, both Amber and I have been sending you money. But we're cutting that off, of course. As I spoke coldly, Mom's face fell in despair, and she clung to us, crying, "Don't stop the remittances. Please. We're a blood-related family. Why would you treat me so harshly?" The one who treated one's blood-related family harshly was you. Mom. I can never forgive you. I don't ever want to see your face again. Amber shouted, but Mom kept begging, "Please don't stop the remittances." Staring at her disdainfully, Amber and I prepared to move out and left the house. We rented apartments close to each other and began our new lives. After a while, Amber started dating a sincere man from her workplace. And I started going out for meals with a fellow tax accountant from my cohort, hoping things would work out well. We have no idea about Mom's current situation and have no intention of ever getting involved with her again. We hope she reflects on what she did. Amber and I keep in touch often, enjoying peaceful and happy days together.